Hey, what's up everybody? Prospector here with Watch Your Realms, and today I'm going to talk to you about building Ne Zha in every single tier of the game that you could possibly be in. That's going to be a beginner stage, you're going to be a mid-tier, late game, and then an end game build for Ne Zha. So anyways, without further ado, let's dig in. Alright, Ne Zha. So just a quick overview of this kit here. Weird talent. Ne Zha uses 3 weapons, fire tip spear. This is going to be a 1 target and a chance to trigger consecutive hits. Universe ring is going to be doing 1 target and bouncing. And then we have Yin Yang blade, which deals 200% single target damage to up to 5 enemies. That single target is important. If there is only 1 target, deals extra 200% damage each time he alternates weapons to attack. He gains 10% damage increase. They flop him back and forth, get damage increases, stacking up to 3 times. During the ultimate, basic attack has a 35% chance to use the Yin Yang blade. That's that 200% single target damage up to 5 enemy targets. It's going to be single target damage, so keep that in mind. During the ultimate, the talent's damage increases effect is doubled. Alright, we have the passive here, or the bond skill. During the ultimate, it becomes immune to all debuffs. Basic attack restores 5% max HP. Just a little bit of survivability built in there onto the basic. This is where he's going to be switching back and forth between these weapons. When there's only 1 enemy within attack range, uses fire tip spear. Otherwise, uses the universe ring. All attacks can target airborne units, so an anti-air unit. Unlimited arsenal. When switching between different weapons to attack, increases the damage multiplier of that basic attack by 90%. And triggers arms enhancement. This is going to be that execution. Fire tip spear ignores 50% of the enemy's defense. Universal ring bounces 1 extra time and can hit the same target multiple times. And Yin Yang blade executes common monsters with HP below 30%. Alright, so on to the next passive here, Godslayer's Wrath. When the hero kills an enemy, reduces attack interval by 5% for 10 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. During the ultimate, each kill extends the ultimate's duration by 2 seconds up to 10 seconds. Alright, so yeah, on the ultimate, when the ultimate is activated, increases attack by 60% and expands attack range to create Wind Fire Whirl, lasting for 30 seconds. When the ultimate ends, deals up to 300% AoE damage to up to 10 enemy targets. This is going to be AoE damage after the ultimate ends. Otherwise, we're still sitting in single target damage in the range based on the number of weapon switches performed during the ultimate. Okay, so kind of quick overview of what the kit was. We also have that slows coming in when universe ring hits on the A1. We have a bunch of true damage on the A3. So this is going to be another key indicator of how to build Ne Zha properly. True damage scales off of attack. So it basically ignores defense, but it is your attack times the multiplier, and that's what you get for damage. Defense doesn't matter. It's very important to remember that. Upon death triggers Lotus Rebirth. Basically, he gets to just come back to life. This is kind of how it is. So a little bit of unyielding there. So that's it for the skills. So in the kit overview, so we got a lot of attack coming in, 60% increase on the ultimate, and then you could possibly consider some crit damage based on where you're at as far as the main stat goes. But because of the true damage on the A3, we're gonna focus on attack percentage for the most part. So onto the gear. Obviously, this is gonna be your typical endgame build. This is what we're looking at right now. So a 114k BP, that isn't too shabby. But Wicked Vengeance on the left side, and that's going to be attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, and attack speed. You want to make it really fast. Same thing for the breastplate, attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, and attack speed. And just a quick note on the breastplate, if you're having trouble with defenses, which is not very common with Ne Zha, you could swap the attack speed on the breastplate to flat attack. Really up to you, because there's kind of 2 possible ways to build this hero, right? You're trying to get past those high defenses, or you just want to be really, really fast. Either way, it usually does pretty well as long as you're in this endgame territory. All right, so on to the bangle. You want to get an attack percentage, crit rate, crit damage, attack speed, and flat attack across the board here on all of these. You could swap the flat attack for rage regen, but as I'm going to show you in this video, it's not super necessary, especially if you bring like an Elwyn or an Ireless, which is fairly common, and his ultimate will come around super quick anyways, and it lasts a long time as well. Something else to keep in mind, that 30-second ultimate time lapse that goes through. And this is going to be a Cataclysm set. Okay, same thing here. And then the same thing here, except this is going to be either the Esoteria Order faction exclusive, or you have the Watchguard faction exclusive. And for this case, I went with the ESO because I had it in with the flat attack as the 4th stat. So if I go flat attack and I have it there, right? So if I go and drop the flat attack, I can see it for the Watchguard. It's going to increase damage and healing effect by 8%. So it's going to bring you up to a 58% increase in damage. The Watchguard faction exclusive is typically better. It really depends. If you build for a little bit of rage regen into your kit, you don't have to worry about this exclusive from the Esoteria Order. If you don't have rage regen, you want to use the ESO faction exclusive. But typically people are going to shoot for the Watchguard because the increase in damage, and then you can just build a little bit of rage regen, like 20% or so rage into the kit. All right, so for the artifact, and obviously it's going to be the Fire Tip Spear. That's going to be her exclusive artifact here, okay? And other options that are going to come up really well when I said that single target damage was important is going to be this Shattered Hilt. Most of his damage is single target. Yeah, so it increases single target damage by 20% for every 5 instances of damage dealt. Increases single target damage by an extra 1, stack up to 10, which is going to be an increase in damage of 30%. So the Shattered Hilt works really well for him. Other good options, if you scroll down a little bit here, let's go down. I want to say like a legendary group that would work really well is like maybe a Watchguard's Ambition. There isn't a lot of good fighter style legendary pieces that you can, artifacts that you can use that work really well, but early on you can use a Keen Wisdom for some extra attack. Other than that, it's really tough to work on anything. Maybe a Frigid Flame if he's safe. Realm Tear is not the greatest. Let's see here. Sorry, there's just really not much to work with as far as the fighters that it's going to work well. You could say like an Eye of Sin might be good, but then you're really cutting out on a lot of the other damage. Yeah, so it's going to be Shattered Hilt, Keen Wisdom, or that Fire Tip Spear, depending on what you have leveled the highest. If you have a Fire Tip Spear at level 10, just go with that. That's going to be your best option. All right, so let's just put this into play here. As you can see, we have the Watcher faction here. I just wanted to show you how Ne Zha works in Gear Raid 121 with no power dominance on, and in very, very elite gear. Okay, get yourself out of the way here. Come on, there we go. All right, so let's drop Ne Zha down. We're gonna go ahead and put down Ireless, and we will give that attack percentage buff from our Diao Qian. Now, I want to show you how this ultimate is going to work. So you're going to see some damage coming out here. So if we random numbers back there, 214, 100k, 108k, 348, 350. As you can see, he's not having trouble keeping that damage really, really high with this Cataclysm set. So it works really well. I'm going to keep it in 2x and just keep letting her ride. And as you see where the ultimate kind of came out, it was like right there, right around 70%. Cleared the first wave really quickly. The next wave is coming in, and you can see with the ESO faction exclusive, he's ready to almost go on the ultimate. By the time these guys come around, there you go, they're ready. Now this second wave here that just came in, you can wait, but just look at that domination there. It just destroys those guys. They don't even stand a chance. Now these guys are going to start walking in. Going to take care of a bunch of them. There's a bunch of stuns going in there, and look at that. Might even be able to finish the whole wave by the time the little ultimate comes out. Yeah. Pretty much. And then that last big hit for the 200% or 2 to 400%, whatever it was, is done, and he's ready to go again. So that's why I kind of like that ESO faction exclusive. But if you're struggling with damage, you could swap it around the other way, but then you have to drop that flat attack on one of those pieces and put some rage regen on, because you're gonna have a hard time. All right, here we go again. Let's finish off these boys. Very, very easy. Ne Zha is OP AoE hero. Very, very strong, as you can see. So is Rosalia. Pretty much, actually, I think I pretty much have the whole lineup down over there for most of the OP AoE heroes in the game, to be honest with you. Like you see, now we're coming out. These guys just started moving in. Neja's ult ended, and we're just about to go back into it again, just to demolish these guys once again. So let's clear these boys again. Do some work, Ne Zha. Do some work. We have those slows going on from the A1, bunch of stuns going on. There's burns going on, and yeah, there's a bunch of discs flying around. We're doing a ton of damage, pounding through the anti-heal. No anti-heal on the team. If you're running a Diao Chen, you can run a crit damage piece. You can. Typically, you don't want to though, because then you kind of lose on the, like I said, the true damage on that Awakened level 3. All right, here we go again. Now it's just time to finish out the boss. Yeah. Ne Zha, OP Ne Zha. That's pretty much the gist of things here. So your builds for all the other sets are going to be relatively the same. If you're going to go for an early game set, or I want to say you maybe want to go for like a Night Terror, it would be a good option. But I'll go over that just a little bit more in just a moment here. I've already done the artifacts, and now I want to go over the other sets as well for the left side and right side, because there is other good options for you to use if you're not into having a very, very good Cataclysm set yet. And that's kind of going to be the definitive factor whether or not you should use Soulbound Arcana versus Cataclysm. If you have Cataclysm pieces like this, go for it. If you have Cataclysm pieces that have attack percentage, crit rate, crit damage, attack speed, but no flat attack on any of them, then you might want to switch over to Soulbound Arcana if you can get it there, okay? Because it's all based on how many ults are done. You're guaranteed to get that 50% boost. You don't have to worry about this exclusive piece over here. The Watch Guard is going to give you more damage. The Esotericist faction exclusive is going to give you more rage, and it does make quite a bit of difference. So let's build out into a Soulbound Arcana set quick here so you can see what it is, and you're going to notice something very, very special. That this build is going to be exactly the same. We're going to focus on attack percentage across the board, attack or crit rate, crit damage, attack speed, and flat attack. On the left side, we're going to take the Wicked Vengeance off there because maybe you don't have it. Right, so let's go on and head over to attack percentage, crit rate, crit damage on the weapon. You cannot get flat attack, so HP bonus is a good option, but typically just try to get the highest attack piece you have with some crit rate and crit damage. Try to shoot for 20 crit rate and about 25 to 30 crit damage. Pop that on. On the breastplate, however, you can pick up a flat attack. You cannot pick up attack speed on Warlord unless you made a special piece during an event. And you cannot also add rage regen. You're only allowed 3 damage or stats in total on the average person's account, okay? So we're gonna go for something like this. So attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, and flat attack. And that's gonna bring you into a nice build that we're looking at here. Bringing it into 24k 190 k attack, sorry, 24,190 attack, 1.5 second attack interval. You lose a little bit of attack speed from the Wicked Vengeance pieces, and then you lose a little bit of crit damage as well. But otherwise it's the same build. You're gonna end up with more attack this way around. We're gonna go over the artifact. We'll go into the next best piece, which is gonna be that Shattered Hilt, and now you have a late game Ne Zha build here. So what are we gonna do for the mid game? On the mid game, the next best set you're gonna be going for here is dropping Warlord. This is something you could work on anyways most of the time. We're gonna attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, and Calamity. It's gonna be that attack bonus plus 25%. It's the next best thing, trust me. Same thing, same stats across the board here. Look for one that's gonna meet your threshold of gear or pieces that you need. It looks like I've upgraded a lot of them anyways, but then we're gonna go over to the right side. We're gonna go for a Night Terror set. This is my go-to set on most mid-game builds if I want to try to keep it into that tier 1 category, okay? We're gonna go attack bonus, crit rate, crit damage, attack speed, and flat attack across the board. This is what you're gonna be shooting for, right? Don't worry about crit capping too much if you can't get there. 98.5. Ne Zha's hitting all over the place a ton of times. That will work pretty darn well, and you can just do the best that you can, right? Now keep in mind you're gonna have a lower main stat bonus on here, so 21.9k attack, and then we're looking at even lower crit damage because the pieces aren't quite as good. And then we're gonna move on over to that artifact as well, and you shoot down to something like a Keen Wisdom or whatever you got that's gonna get you by. Maybe like a Frigid Flame would be another good option. But like I said before, there's not a lot of good legendary options. So a Keen Wisdom will increase the attack by 16% and just make that damage that much more crucial. Now let's take this Night Terror set and see what happens when we throw it onto Gear Raid 121. Now that we changed his gear, it should still do pretty darn well. My assumption is that we should still clear. We're running a Night Terror set, so we're losing a good 25% damage, but that doesn't mean that the game is over, right? Let's see what happens. Obviously, I'm putting out good supports there. We have Diao-Chen and Ireless, and those are big damage support heroes. Before these guys move forward, I'm going to start them early, just a little bit. As you can see, we're still pumping out a ton of damage. It's still decent. Now, will he make it through? I don't even know. I haven't tested this prior to you guys or watching this video, or you guys watching this video, or me doing this video, but wow, that was like really confusing how I said that. Mine wasn't quite working. As you can see, didn't quite clear those guys out, and you can see the rage difference from not having the ESO faction exclusive, but we're still in pretty decent standing. So let's see what happens. We'll start it up again. This is going to be your mid-game build. A little extra support. When you run mid-game builds, you have a little bit more time or struggle with one hero doing something quite so amazing. The builds just make that much of a difference. You could honestly, you could probably wrap in a little bit of rage gen in there on one of those pieces to see if that helps you guys out. All right, so didn't clear these guys out, but the wall's still safe. I can go ahead and activate the ultimate, make sure these guys get taken care of. I don't want them staying there. Put some more slows and stuns out there to make sure they don't destroy that wall. These guys are quite as bad to deal with, so I'd rather have these 6 out here than those other guys out there. They're doing a lot more damage, I think. All right, Ne Zha, clear a couple of these guys. There you go. Come on. Come on. There you go. Ooh, got them all out. That's awesome. That's awesome. But as you can see, it takes a little bit longer for the skill to amp up and get going. So that's something to take into consideration. As soon as these guys go walking forward, we're going to go ahead and activate that again. Ne Zha, the king of AoE damage here. Kinda. AoE physical damage. Let's put it at that. AoE physical damage. This gal right here has really changed the game as far as who's the king of AoE. Alright. For the fighters, I meant. For the fighters. Let's see if Ne Zha can do this in a Night Terror Calamity set. Very good Night Terror Calamity set, I must say, but let's just see what happens. I think we don't have the exclusive on either anymore. I think I swapped over Shattered Hilt, if I remember correctly. Doing okay. Not quite as destructive, are we? Not quite the same. The ultimate's coming around again. I think he can do it. I think he can do it. Come on. Come on. Let's go, Ne Zha. Alright, alright. That's it. Now it's just him and the boss. Game, set, match in a tier 1 set. Like I said, granted, very good gear or stats on this set that he's wearing right now, but still, it's still impressive. Not even running Sylvan Arcana. Just getting a 25% boost versus a 50. That's a huge, huge difference. But yeah, that's all I have for Ne Zha's build and hero guide today. I hope you guys found it helpful. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure to support me by going to smile1.prospector.gg. If you're going to make any purchases in Watcher of Realms, buy W Gold first. You typically get top-up rewards, a 10% discount. So even if you're going to buy something in the game shop, transfer your money over to W Gold from Smile1 and then go and purchase it, because this here is going to be $8 instead of $10. You just have to get it into W Gold first. And that's part of the gig. Plus you get top-up rewards on top of it, and you support your favorite creator when you just like to use the exclusive Smile1 link. But anyways, guys, that's all I have for today's video. I hope you found it helpful. I've been the Prospector, and until next time, keep digging.